Hey guys, want to bring you another YouTube video. If you saw our last video, we did a family outing. The kids had a first time professional football game. It was preseason. Obviously, tickets are a little bit cheaper in that sense, but Raiders obviously has one of the highest ticket price, and it was against the Niners. So it was a pretty outcome for them, for the Niners, but it was fun with the atmosphere and the environment. So just going to go over how the day and the environment and our experience. So especially if you have a family of four or a family, especially if you're trying to figure out if this would be a good outing, especially if you're going to Las Vegas for a football game. So um, this was an early outing. We started to get there 3 hours early so we could get free parking essentially, or try to see if we could get free parking. We normally park at the Tropicana, and so there was a sign for Tropicana's $25 event, but we didn't see anyone there. We went in there, parked, and didn't pay or anything, and we came back actually that day, later that day, no ticket or anything, and so essentially we saved $25 right there. We walked from Tropicana, walked over the overpass or the pedestrian pass, went to the Luxor, or not the Luxor, Excalibur. We saw a lot of people came out of the tram, and that's when we definitely, especially if you have little kids, ours is 8 and 5, so we made sure we were holding hands to make sure we didn't get lost or anything in that crowd. Then people started dispersing in Excalibur because they were just like us. We were trying to get the next connection to the Luxor. Then once you found the Luxor, you could see other Raiders and Niners fans heading same direction towards Mandalay Bay. Once we got to the Mandalay Bay, we made that right to get outside and start walking on the overpass towards Allegiant Stadium. So on game day or any event, they block off that street on the overpass from Mandalay Bay. They have cops presence and everything, so you can actually walk in the middle of the street there. Especially, it made sense at the end of the game if you watch the video of that. So we walked there. It was perfect. You could only get into the stadium 2 hours ahead, so it was actually perfect timing, especially with little ones. It gave us almost an hour to walk through, give them some breaks, bathroom breaks and stuff like that. So we got there about 10 minutes to spare. Some places have cooling stations, water stations and stuff like that with fans. There wasn't much of a tailgate. I was surprised there's not a tailgate scene. I don't know if it's because it's preseason, but I just thought maybe because one of the things I always thought, there's not any parking or much parking there, and parking's very expensive there. So to do a tailgate, it doesn't make sense. I think that was the biggest thing I noticed because I've gone to Raiders and Niners, especially living in the Bay. Candlestick, I thought, was one of the best, and even I would say Oakland Raiders had some good tailgate, so because they have bigger parking lots there. I wouldn't say Oakland was the best compared to the Niners, because one reason was because a lot of people would bark to the Oakland Raiders game, and it's not easy access to the Niners stadium, so you definitely would have to drive to get that at the time. With the new stadium, I've only been to the Niners stadium once. I can't remember if there was much tailgate, but I would say there was, but it's not the same experience. So once you get in, definitely it was interesting. Definitely, I think out of all the stadiums, I would say the Raiders stadium looks pretty nice. I haven't gone to SoFi. I heard SoFi is one of the nicer ones, and Cowboys Some of those other ones, like the Vikings, I've heard, maybe the Falcons, but definitely I thought the Raiders stadium was very nice. Was pretty big. It took us a while. That 2 hours went by pretty quick with little ones trying to get around, especially half an hour before kickoff. We were trying to get some food for the kids. We just got back in time to our seats, and yeah, it was a packed house. I would say it was, if you were watching the game, it was pretty crowded. I heard that it was a sold out game, like pretty much sold out. 95% tickets were sold. There was only, I would say, a handful of seats empty around our area. I think the crowd was better. The old crowd in the Niners stadium at Candlestick, or at the Raiders stadium, old stadium, I wouldn't say I would have taken my kids there to any of those. Like I said, they didn't allow the Niners and Raiders to play preseason until the Raiders left. So I think that was one of the interesting thing is, or telling fact, that the police presence was there, security was there, ushers were there. So pretty much, I think they had their stuff together in that sense. That the Raiders game, now again, I think because we have more Niners fans there, because we definitely, I know we didn't have much to cheer for, but like that example, if you heard on television, when Trey Lance threw almost the pick, but it went to our tight end for that touchdown, it was very loud. Even my wife and the kids were surprised. And I would say when the Raiders were scoring and stuff like that, yeah, you could hear them. They were pretty loud, but I would say you could definitely hear more of the Niners when they were able to cheer for anything, and especially that touchdown. That was the loudest, I would say, that time. They have some great art and everything. Get there early. I would say if you want to check out the art, take pictures of like the Al Davis torch. Like I said, it didn't feel like we're in Vegas until you like look at the scenery of the strip, and then the roof. You didn't feel hot or anything. See through, you could definitely see the sun and stuff, but it didn't feel like any hot. They turn on the AC really high, blast it. What else? I would say the food is more of the locals joints. So if you're coming here for the Super Bowl or any of the games, I would say, yeah, there's a lot of good places that you could try. You can't go wrong with a lot of these places. Yeah, I think the kids have fun overall. My son, he was bored at some points because it was a long day for him. Because, like I said, he had to get up 8 in the morning. Then we went to 3 hours before the game, walk around, and then he wasn't happy. He did drop his pizzas. That didn't help either. So I would say the food was kind of pricey compared to, obviously, like off the strip or actually from the actual restaurant. Like, good example, we spent almost $40 for 4 donuts. That kind of tells you something. So overall, it's a great experience. We would do it again if tickets are reasonable again. But since the Niners and Raiders don't play often, I mean, it's great to be able maybe to go every now and then when they are in town. But yeah, go ahead. Oh, and then leaving was pretty interesting. There was a lot of people on that overpass, the most I've ever seen. But go ahead, let me know if you've gone to the Niners and Raiders game. Were you there? What did you think of the game or experience? Let's just focus on the experience. The game wasn't that great, obviously, in the outcome, but yeah, I would recommend now. Like the Raiders fans aren't as rowdy as before. Obviously, yeah, they're cheering and all that, just like a typical fan base. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so, and together we could build a better tomorrow. Thanks.